So an 8.8 earthquake just hit off the Russian coast, the Russian east coast, the sixth largest earthquake in recorded history. That is going to cause ripple effects, literally tsunami effects throughout the region, all the way over to the west coast of the United States. And here in California, being in California real estate for the past 2 decades, I want to talk about how this tsunami can affect California real estate and how future tsunamis can affect California real estate, including this incredibly cool interactive tsunami map that has just come out. Let's dive in. So a tsunami travels across the ocean at about 500 miles an hour. The distance to Hawaii from the epicenter is 3,000 miles. So that's 6 hours. The distance to the West Coast, including California, is 4,000 miles. That's about 8 hours. This map shows the speed of the tsunami that can move across the ocean. So first of all, with a potential tsunami, there is obvious danger to any of the homes that are oceanfront, any of the homes around a harbor that are at sea level or close to sea level. I'm going to jump onto that interactive map here shortly so we can take a look at that. Obviously, the surfers get excited. My 19-year-old's ready to go out and try to surf a tsunami, but that's not going to happen. There is incredible danger of flooding and how high a wave could be. And this affects the real estate market as well, because if you think about it, there's properties right now, as we're talking, in escrow that are beachfront homes that could fall out. People just assume the worst. It also creates challenges, continued challenges potentially in the insurance market for California, which has already had its fair share of being beaten up by fires. However, one thing that I noted this week that's interesting is that even in the insurance market, it's not as bad as what you hear in the hype. For example, we had a home that we were selling this week, and someone assumed the insurance on it was going to be triple what it actually was, just because of what they'd heard in the news. So there is that to bring perspective. But with tsunamis, there is all kinds of things to think about. Let's jump onto that interactive map. So this here overall is a tsunami hazard map created by the Geological Society. Pretty awesome. And it shows the areas along the California coast here of yellow is absolute hazard area, like where you should evacuate. And I'm going to zoom in. If you look at this green, the lighter green kind of square there, that's where I'm located. That's Santa Barbara County. Let me jump into that. All right, so as I zoom in here on Santa Barbara County, you can see these yellow areas. And as we get closer into this area right here, this is where the harbor is. You can see the breakwater just there that protects the boats from larger waves. But all of that area around there is about sea level. And so all of that area is on an evacuation notice. Again, how this affects real estate is there's a lot of real estate in that area. And there's a lot of real estate up and down the California coast that are in this tsunami hazard area. And as there is news and as there is currently a tsunami advisory in effect, this is going to raise awareness and it's going to cause people to think through, do I want to be purchasing real estate in these areas? It's going to cause insurance companies to possibly rerun their underwriting. It's going to just continue to affect even just possibly mentality of people. But this map shows you exactly which areas are in those hazard zones. And I'm going to drop a link to this map down below the episode in the description so that you can check this out for yourself. But it's pretty fascinating. You can go up and down the coast. This is Isla Vista area here where we have the University of Santa Barbara, California. Now the university is pretty raised up. There's like mostly bluffs around it. And really the only low areas are like this lagoon here, and then what's called the Goleta Slough, which is just, basically a big lagoon. The airport looks like It's, just on the line, the Santa Barbara Airport, they have had issues there before with water rising, so that would maybe be a concern. But yeah, this is a fascinating map. So I'm going to drop a link down below in the description for you. You can check that out. Hopefully this has been helpful and informative. If it has, give me a like, shoot me a comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next episode.